If you own a business or you have some part of your life that involves you doing some online marketing, like maybe you sell your art on Etsy, or maybe you're a content creator or something like that, and you've seen all of the stuff that's been going on in the last few weeks, and you see more changes in social media, in the online landscape coming down the pike, and you are looking around and wondering, what am I supposed to be doing with my marketing? And if you're that kind of person and you're asking that kind of question, I want to assure you that you're in the right place. But before we get started, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Nicole Willette. I own Breaking Even Communications, which is an online marketing company that I started back in January of 2008. I've worked with hundreds of clients on their marketing strategy and implementation. So I have a fair bit of knowledge, but also experience when it comes to marketing. And I'll be honest with you, the last few weeks, it has taken everything in my power to not just take my computer, throw it out the window, and walk into the woods because, um, yeah, everything kept changing. And then I would get a handle on it, and then it would change again. I think we have more changes coming, but the dust has settled down enough, and I feel like I have information to share that will be useful for you to know. There's three things I want to talk about today. I want to talk about decrease amount of usage on Meta and X in particular as platforms, but a general suspicion of large platforms that is increasingly developing. I want to talk about the next wave of social media, which will be decentralized platforms, and how you can get in early on the gold rush, so to speak, by being a part of them. Even though there's no advertising happening there, I still think it's a worthwhile place for you to be. And number three, I want to discuss the importance of having an owned platform. That is a platform that you have 100% control over. Not only that you have control over, but whose content that you entirely own and whose access cannot be shut off from you. Number one, we're seeing a mass exodus of large platforms, in particular Meta and X. That's not to say other platforms are not far behind. Now, the problem with mainly these being private companies is that we won't know how the user base has changed for sure unless they're a publicly traded company and kind of reportings in the first quarter of this year, which is still a couple of months from now. To wait probably till end of March to hear how the first quarter went of 2025. It's not like if you lost like 20% or more of your business, you would grab a megaphone and walk through town telling everybody. If this happens to you, you're probably going to try to quietly recover. You're going to see if there's other ways for you to make money so that you can sort of like tell the shareholders that when, when you have to talk to them. Or if you're a private company like X that doesn't have shareholders, you can just put out whatever information that you want. It's not like somebody's necessarily fact checking it. It's not like there's somebody getting a report saying, "Hey, wait a minute. These numbers don't look right." When one person owns the company, you get to say what you want, my own company included. Now, you may be asking yourself how I, as a regular person, could even know that something was up. I mean, I'm clearly not Mark Zuckerberg. Why do I know there's something going on Instagram? There is some publicly available data that we can look at. So, the first thing I'm going to look at is the amount of followers Instagram has, the official Instagram account on the Instagram platform. I'm going to look at the traffic on the Instagram website, and I'm going to look at Google Trends for search terms related to Instagram. So let's start with the Social Blade stats. So this is Social Blade stats. You can make a free account on socialblade.com and you can put in pretty much any company. As long as it has a large following, it should have data for it. Like, it might not have enough data for my company, for example, but it does for Instagram. So what I did is I looked at, what do followers of Instagram's official account look like? And the number I want to sort of draw your attention to is the 1.9 million followers, but that is a 31% decrease in the last 30 days. Now, obviously, people can unfollow an account for a variety of reasons. Number one, maybe I just didn't like the content anymore. So I'm still on Instagram, but I decided to unfollow Instagram's official account. Number two, could be that my profile has been flagged or counted as spam or something like that. So I would disappear from following Instagram's account if my account was suspended for some reason. And obviously, I would not show up as a follower if I had deleted my account. But as you see, 2 out of those 3 reasons, I'm not on the platform anymore. Usually, an indicator of a decrease like that is either that you did some major faux pas PR-wise, or people are just leaving the platform. And in Instagram's case, it could be a combination of both, to be completely honest with you. I want to assure you that I just spent 25 minutes trying to find something that had stats related to website data. Now, the problem is that these free tools typically report data for the previous month unless you're willing to pay. This is a free account on SEMrush, and I typed in Instagram.com and then I clicked on the traffic analytics part because if you go to the main dashboard, it tells you basically how much organic traffic the website has. I just wanted to know how much overall traffic had happened. This is, as you see, for December of 2024. So I can't see January stats yet. Now, the third thing we can look at is Instagram searches. I'm using the Google Trends tool because that is freely available, but there's also other paid keyword tools as well if you want to go in that direction. But let's take a look at Instagram searches in the last little while, as well as related search terms. So as you see, I'm just searching Instagram. I'm just going to scroll down here to see some related Instagram terms. So we have Instagram removing highlights as an increased amount of searches. We have the new Instagram grid size. We have some various celebrity Instagram accounts. We have, is Instagram getting banned being searched? We have Instagram alternative. Who owns Instagram? How to delete a Facebook account has increased in searches by 100%. How to delete an Instagram account has increased by 40%. Now, I added another keyword here, delete Instagram, and we can see Pixel Fed, which is an Instagram alternative, being searched 1,250% more. We have more about the new Instagram post sizes and some celebrities. We have Blue Sky Instagram alternative being searched 550% more. We have does Meta own Instagram? 180% searches. Instagram alternative, 160% increase in searches. Now, as you can see, we can look at website traffic, we can look at social media following, we can look at online sentiment and average volume and change in volume of searches in Google. And all of that kind of gives us a picture of what's going on, even within a private company. As you can see, it doesn't take a genius or even just an insider trader to know that there's something going on at Meta. We know that Congress people own a lot of Meta stock, but somehow could vote on bills that directly affect that stock. We know that there's a 30% decrease in the amount of followers that Instagram has in a 30-day period, which is significant. We see that there's an over 1,000% increase in people searching for how to delete their accounts on the platform. Something is going on. And even probably anecdotally, you know at least a handful of people in your friend group who have deleted or at least deactivated their accounts. If you have only been doing Facebook and Instagram advertising up to now, you might be asking yourself what you're supposed to do. And that is what we're going to get into in parts 2 and 3 of this video. So part 2 of this video, the future is decentralized. It might eventually be distributed, but currently I see it being decentralized. A centralized platform like Instagram, like YouTube, like Facebook, like X is owned by a singular company. That means that they not only have control of who can access that website and when, but also what information gets shown. So they control not only the user base, but also the algorithm and the content and how it's distributed. A decentralized social network is one that is not owned by a particular company. And currently, the big one is Blue Sky. Currently, Blue Sky has 27.4 million registered users. And as you can see, a lot of that growth happened relatively quickly within a few months. Personally, I see this increasing at an even faster rate here at the beginning of 2025 because not only has there been issues with Meta and X, obviously, but there's been some issues with TikTok as well. TikTok was shut off for about 8 hours during the ban. A lot of people, including myself, think that the ban was a kind of PR stunt and a way to transition over to something else so that we didn't necessarily notice. The problem is, of course, that as Americans, we can't search for certain things or see certain information on TikTok anymore that we used to be able to see. So, even of a beloved platform, people are suspicious and looking for where else they could be. So, to me, if you're a business and you want to make a move, I would look at these decentralized platforms and pick at least one of them to be on. In particular, if you want to send a message to your customers and your followers that you care about things like their data privacy, you care about being able to talk to them directly, you care about their access to information. Now, personally, I think that these blue sky numbers are going to increase pretty drastically in the next 3 months because Meta has always had kind of security and other issues. X obviously has a problematic leader at this point, and people are mass leaving the platform, including advertisers. But TikTok also proved itself to be pretty untrustworthy during the ban period. The messages that were put on the screen giving praise to Donald Trump for bringing it back, for example, as well as the platform being gone, maybe long enough for a server or algorithm change, but long enough to sort of show that there was some power there. And there is some kind of connection going on with Meta at this point because some official accounts for Facebook and Instagram have showed up on TikTok that weren't there before. The day before, Facebook introduced a way for you to connect to your TikTok account through Facebook, which is an odd timing to introduce that feature. The day before something gets banned, you're like, oh, you can integrate it with this thing that's about to be banned. Seems a little bit odd. So, personally, I think a lot of us on TikTok feel like something is afoot, and we don't particularly trust that platform either. I personally think Blue Sky is great because it's built on AT protocol, which is a open source kind of protocol that makes your content available not just on that app but across apps and gives you as the creator control about where your content is being used. For example, I upload my content to Blue Sky. There's an app in development right now called Skylight, which is going to be a sort of competitor of TikTok. It's going to have this sort of infinite scroll that TikTok has, but it's going to pull Blue Sky content. So what's nice is that if I put content on Blue Sky, I might be able to have it displayed other places as well. As I grow my account and I have followers, there's kind of a central location for that to be happening. I don't have to keep continuously rebuilding my audience. So I think people are going to be looking at decentralized platforms. An Instagram competitor in that decentralized space is called Pixel Fed. But if you can think of something that you like about social media, there is a decentralized platform that is its equivalent. So if you really are going to miss the functionality of WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, you can take a look at Signal. Now, currently, these platforms don't have advertising on them, but there are ways for your organic content to be seen. Obviously, you can find people that you previously followed on those platforms. You can use hashtags and all those other kind of ways of making your content more visible. And there is at least one social media scheduling platform that allows you to schedule to Blue Sky in addition to, Facebook, Instagram, and all that. So if you don't want to quite burn it all down on the traditional platforms, but you at least want to explore your options for a decentralized platform, I would take a look and join at least one of them personally. You joining those platforms will send a certain kind of message if you want to send that certain kind of message. But you don't join all of them, just join one. And if you want to pick one, I would honestly pick Blue Sky. It seems to be the one that's growing the fastest, and it seems to have people developing an AT protocol, which means that content you post there will be able to be useful other places. And thirdly, if you're going to prioritize anything in 2025, it is establishing and building your own platform, whatever that is. What do I mean by an own platform? I mean your own website, your own email address or texting list, or if you use a third-party website, says explicitly that You own your own content. Substack, for example, has drawn a pretty firm line in the sand and says explicitly in their terms of service that when you're on their platform, any content you post there is owned by you as a creator. So if you wanted to take all your content and put it in a book or something like that, you are 100% able to do that because the content you produced is your own. And did you know that other platforms own the content that you post there and use it to do things like train AI? Yeah, just thought you might like to know that. But anyway, Elon Musk wanted to buy Substack at one point. They didn't want to sell it to him. And so, being the mature adult that he is, he decided to ban Substack links on X, only to have at least one person figure out a workaround for how to share Substack links on X. So, a tech billionaire could decide that he didn't like a website, and suddenly you couldn't link to anything on that website if you were on his platform. This is what we're looking at now. This is the maturity level that we're dealing with here. So, what I want is for you to have your own platform where nobody can tell you what to do and where you can reach your customers, your audience in a way that is exterior to these algorithms. Seeing an increasing interest in people, using platforms like Substack or Patreon, or, you know, returning back to their email lists that they've let languish over the years. People are understanding that these social media platforms aren't reliable as we thought they were, and they aren't ours ultimately. Those are my recommendations as a marketer of what you should do as a small business here at the beginning of 2025. If you still want to post to these platforms, as long as you understand that that content isn't owned by you once you post there, and that these platforms are going to become not as effective as they used to be, increasingly so. And so you're developing these other things that are more of a fail-safe. I think that that's perfectly fine. Listen, I get if you're frustrated hearing this news, right? Maybe you were doing really great on TikTok and you were selling thousands of dollars in the TikTok shop and it all got shut down and you're just not having the same momentum that you did before the ban. Or you used to just be able to post to Facebook 5 years ago and you would get people coming into your business or calling you up for something. And now you do the same thing and you're getting crickets. And so a marketing person telling you to do more, to distribute your platforms, to look at these entirely new decentralized platforms, to build out your owned platform, these are all things that take either time or money or both. And it may sound self-serving coming from me. But here's the thing. You know how plumbers make money unclogging toilets, but there are ways that they would rather make their money? Me having to deliver bad news about social media, about the shift happening and having to do more work to be able to be effective in marketing is me dealing with a toilet filled with shit. I'm the messenger. I don't own these platforms any more than you do. I'm just looking at where things are headed and I'm trying to be ahead of the curve. I hope you take my advice. And if you don't, at least you've heard my perspective and some reasons for it and can look into some of these news items yourself and decide what you want to do with your business. By the way, I do have something to sell you if you want to do, I guess, more effective social media marketing. And it's this service I have called Trend Descend. Basically, with Trend Descend, you get a twice weekly text message and I send you basically a trend idea and I film my version of the trend talking about the idea. And I send the trending audio links to Instagram, TikTok, and if I can find them on YouTube. By the way, Red Note is starting to do trending audio. Yes, I'm on Red Note. You can have any feelings about that you want, but I am there. And I'm going to maybe start tracking those there once those become a thing. But anyway, I track these trends. I see which ones are popping off, and then I send the text message. And the idea is that you, as the business owner, get the text message and you can basically film and edit it in about 15 minutes and post it, right? Now, I decided for fun, I was going to upload some of these trending videos to YouTube and I was going to continue doing my normal YouTube videos. And I thought, I'll pull the numbers and see if the trending videos, which aren't even most of the time attached to a trending audio on YouTube. So keep in mind that this video you're watching here, I've been filming for an hour and 10 minutes. It's not an hour and 10 minutes long when you're watching it because I edited it down. By the time I edit and upload it, I will probably spend between 3 and 4 hours on it, just to give you an idea. And again, these trending videos, about 15 minutes, about a tenth of the amount of time to make a trending video as to make one of these longer form videos. Let's see how my stuff did. So here are my regular videos, which are longer form content. As you can see, the average video gets about 119 views, 5 comments, and 9 likes. Okay, if we're going to round it to the nearest decimal point. During the same time, the trending videos got 233 views, like double the amount of views, and on average of 8 likes instead of 8.8 likes. They got less comments, but short videos get less comments than longer videos anyway. On short, I could do about a tenth of the work and get twice the views and about the same amount of likes as I can for these long form videos using my trending service. On YouTube, even, not even on Instagram and TikTok, where trending audio are much more of a thing. So, if you want to be more visible on social media and you don't want to do a ton of work, I recommend jumping on this trending video thing. If you go to trenddescend.com, you can sign up for the service. It's $49 a month. You can try it for a month. And I spend literally hours pulling the spreadsheet together. It's basically my brain and a spreadsheet and vibes that gets you more effective marketing for $49 a month. And like I said, the average video should take you about 15 minutes tops to make. It's supposed to be easy, and I try to make it as easy as possible. So thanks so much for watching this video. If you have a question, a topic, you can leave it as a comment on this video, or if you're more shy, you can use the contact form of the website, breakingeveninc.com/contact. I had a lot of information that I covered in this video in this month's newsletter, but I had other stuff too that I couldn't get to. So if you like this kind of information, I do recommend the newsletter, breakingeveninc.com/newsletter. It is a once a month newsletter. There's a way on that page you can sign up for the blog updates, which are about weekly. So you can either get weekly, or if you just pick monthly, you'll get monthly. So I'm not going to bug the crap out of you. And if you like this content, there's plenty more where that came from. There's various playlists and almost 500 videos on the YouTube channel. And the same content and more, like written content, is on the blog with over 1,500 blog entries on topics ranging from social media marketing to pricing to things that I have generally cared about over the years. It's searchable, it's categorized. If you like blogs, you might like that one. And I know all these changes aren't easy, but the good news is you've got a friend in the marketing and tech industry who looks ahead and tries to make it as painless as possible.